All right, we're going to change it up today. We're going to ask ChatGPT what you guys are all thinking, which is, hey ChatGPT, what I'm thinking is it's pretty easy to buy property. Currently, you can go online and a lot of Australians build a lot of wealth through real estate. So I'm trying to figure out why more people aren't retiring in Australia with more than 5 properties. What is stopping people from doing this? Because on paper, I watch Ravi's videos on YouTube, I read all these articles about how people make wealth through real estate, but unfortunately, a lot of people get stuck. I want to know how can I retire through real estate investing and how I can do it fast. If you're interested in what my thoughts are and what ChatGPT is about to pump out here, then definitely keep watching. Hey guys, my name is Ravi and welcome back to Personal Finance with Ravi Sharma. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button because I talk about real estate, personal development, and all things financial freedom. In a second here, we're going to go through exactly what is stopping most Australians from retiring with real estate. You may have been watching my channel from like last week, or you may have been watching for the last couple of years. But the reality is, what I talk about, I simplify. I talk about it in a way that it's easy to digest and say, okay, well, yes, anyone can do it, but not everyone will do it. Let's find out exactly what OpenAI is suggesting is the reason why people stop. And we're gonna have a discussion about this. I'm gonna share some nuggets and I'm gonna share some insights because we go ahead and purchase about 1,000 properties a year for clients. So I know a thing or two when it comes to looking at hotspots, identifying new trends and looking at the best markets, but also looking at the best structures to be able to go out there and build huge amounts of wealth in real estate. So let's dive in. All right, so I'm just sharing my screen here so you can follow along. This is a great question and one that goes straight to the heart of why so many Aussies want to build wealth through property, but so few actually reach 5+ properties, let alone retire off them. Let's break this into 2 parts. So on paper, building a property portfolio sounds simple. Buy a property, wait for capital growth, use equity to buy another, rinse and repeat, but in reality, most people get stuck after 1 or 2 properties and here's why. Borrowing capacity tap-outs. Banks assess your income, expenses, and existing debts like mortgages very conservatively. After 1 or 2 properties, unless your income rises or you structure your loans properly, like through trusts or interest-only lending, you will hit a wall. You may not be aware of this, but I'm going to break it down for you. Is when the banks actually do your servicing, they'll go, okay, yes, the interest rate is 6.5%, but we're going to assess you with a buffer rate of 3%, which means they're doing all of their calculations on 9.5% instead of 6.5%. And therefore, when you do the numbers, you're like, it works. But when the bank's doing the servicing, it doesn't work. Now, this isn't always the case with all lenders because every lender has a different policy. They also go out there and say, okay, if you earn income from this source or you earn bonuses and commissions or you have dividend income, it's going to be treated differently because we treat it differently according to our calculator, which is why you definitely need a broker. And I'm going to leave a link in the description box below for the best brokers that help all of our clients at the moment. They specialize in scaling up portfolios. So they're really good at what they do and I can't recommend them highly enough. Now, number 2 is poor loan structuring. Most investors walk into a bank or go to a retail broker. They don't maximize borrowing potential, split loans properly, and use the right ownership structure. This leaves equity trapped and restricts growth. And I agree 100% with this. When we're talking about structures, you definitely need to consider something like trusts. If you're looking at something longer term, you may make that decision after you watch this video. It's a whiteboard video. It is jam-packed full of information around how exactly do trusts work and why people are using them to unlock unlimited borrowing capacities. Number 3 is fear, media, and misinformation. Headlines like housing crashing coming or property bubble bursting spook people. A lot of Aussies get to 1 property and sit there still for 10 years because they don't want to risk overextending. I have seen this time and time again. I started the buyer's agency in 2020. So think about the worst possible time to start a business is when I did it. And think about being in the worst industry, which was property. I had to compete with economists and with all these big media outlets saying one thing, which is don't buy, property prices will crash. I remember making videos on my channel and you can check out this one where I referenced one of those videos in 2020. I whiteboarded the entire thing and said, hey, I think we're about to see the biggest boom in property prices and you might miss out. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people missed it because it wasn't a very popular video. I had like less than 100 subscribers at the time, but it's why I still educate people when I'm almost at 100,000. Because if you're not parking your money against hard assets, you're going to eventually fall out and see the collapse of the middle class. And you don't want to be on the bottom end of that fence. You really want to keep on top of inflation, but also outperform it. And this is why so many Australians love property. Next up is lifestyle creep. People get a pay rise and increase spending instead of saving or reinvesting. Or they buy their dream home first, bad move if you're trying to build wealth, and that home kills their borrowing capacity. One of the things I got taught by my dad was, If you go out there and purchase your own home first, your borrowing capacity is dead. And at the time, I obviously didn't have as much information, so I didn't really know what he was talking about. When I started talking to the right people and educating myself, I realized that once you go ahead and purchase your own place, usually it's going to be much, much higher than when you are actually going out and investing. So if you're going out there and buying a place in, say, Sydney, you're probably spending $1.5 million. Now, if I was to go and say, I can use the 1.5 and buy 3 properties across these different areas across Australia, and they're all investment properties, well, the difference is that that one property for 1.5 million means that I'm now having to pay the mortgage on that. And that is significant. Just for really quick numbers, even if your mortgage rate is 6.5%, on $1 million loan, that's $65,000 a year in just interest repayments, let alone the fact that this is probably going to be a loan of 1.2 million. In addition to that, you've got council rates, water rates, and everything in between. The additional part to this is that you have to come up with the upfront cash to be able to purchase it. If you flip over to the other side, which is I go and buy 3 properties at 500K each, and yes, it's still possible to do that because we purchase about 20 of these every single week for clients, you would go out there and say, okay, if each property is now generating for me some income, and yes, I've got the expenses and whatnot, but on paper, the banks are going to say $1.5 million in terms of value generates no income. If I go ahead and buy 3 properties at 500K at 1.5 total value, and it's generating $1,500 a week, you're more likely to have some servicing available in the future or near term in this situation. And that is why you should probably avoid buying your dream home or the home that you're not going to live in forever, but I'm only living in here because I got the first home owner grants, is going to stop you from actually retiring really, really wealthy and retiring early, which ultimately gives you more choice anyway. Number 5, they buy the wrong property. A poorly located or low growth property eats up your borrowing capacity without growing in value. Without capital growth, you can't pull equity and scale. Now, I've spoken about this on the channel. You should definitely go check out this video, which starts with 100K and how you can use 100K to then scale up to a $5 million property portfolio. It's so important that you get cash flow to keep you in the game and capital growth to get you out of the game. At the end of the day, if you're buying property just for the cash flow, you're going to lose. But if you're equally buying property just for the capital growth, you're most likely going to churn out of those properties and not be able to hold them through multiple cycles, which is the whole game here. And number 6 is they don't treat it like a business. Most people don't have a clear plan. They buy and hope instead of forecasting returns, tracking portfolio LVRs, rental yields, land tax, etc. This is so important that you know exactly what you're doing, and you need to treat this like a business. I remember in the early days of YouTube, I used to say this and people in the comments were like, what the hell are you saying? I said, okay, if you go into your job tomorrow and you say, okay, if I buy this product and it equals this and this is my profit margin, I know what's happening. But as soon as it gets to property, you're like, oh, I have an opinion about this, even though I've never bought property in my life before. Or my friend had bought a property 5 years ago in that location and they must know more than what you guys know. But the reality is that you need to focus on data rather than emotions. If the numbers make sense, you have to trust the data. Trust the process and the rest will work out. Now, if you wanted to retire fast through real estate, this is how you would do it. Now, according to AI, here's a simplified playbook used by people who scale 5, 10, even 15 plus properties and achieve financial freedom. 1, start with the end in mind. We speak about this all the time. Figure out what you want to end up with and then what you need in terms of debt-free property to get there. Buy growth assets, not just cash flow, which we've just covered off. You need to leverage and scale with a plan. This is why people use interest-only loans to maximize their cash flow. And a lot of people are like, I don't want to do that because I've got to pay off my debt. But the reality is you need to know which part of the strategy you're in. Are you in the acquisition phase? Are you in the acceleration phase? Or are you in the lifestyle phase where you probably want to reduce your debt? If you're watching this video all the way through, you're definitely in the acquisition phase and you're really trying to scale up. Number 4 is use a strategic mortgage broker, one that works with property investors, not just home buyers. And trust me, there is a big, big difference. I'm going to leave a link in the description box below for the mortgage brokers that more than 95% of our clients are using right now, and for good reason. Number 5, surround yourself with the right team. So an investor savvy buyer's agent, I don't know if I know one. You can probably look up searchproperty.com.au. I've heard they're pretty good. Then you've got a mortgage broker, an accountant who understands trust structures, and then property managers. Again, you need to build that team out. If you think you're going to do this by yourself, I'm telling you, you're not going to do it well. And number 6 is track and forecast your portfolio. What you want to be doing is using a robust system to go, okay, this is where my portfolio is. Where is it going to be? And do I have the right guidance to get me there? Think about you getting into a car and you've never been to this location, your navigation turns off, Google Maps isn't working. You're probably just gonna have to rely on the signs and it's very reactive. Versus if you're sitting there in the car with someone who's been there before, they're gonna go, don't take that turn, don't wait for that exit, let's exit here because this will be the fastest way there and it avoids the traffic. This is the difference between those who really make it with real estate and just in life in general. When you start outsourcing and relying on people that are smarter than you, you're gonna eventually get to the goal that you want. I do this in so many aspects of my life, and I'm continuing to get to the point where I'm like, I want to figure out more things that I can go and outsource to people that are so much better than me at doing it. And that is how I believe I can excel and scale up my portfolio, but also my life in general. I want to have ultimately enough money to take care of my expenses, to then help my family and friends, and then be in a position where I can enjoy life and do more of the things I'm good at and enjoy. I hope you're the same. I know everyone's sort of looking to get out of the 9 to 5 because you may not be enjoying it. It's saying, okay, how do I figure out the machine that's going to allow me to get out of it? And then what am I actually going to do when I get there? I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks, guys.